Greetings everyone, and I hope you're all shipshape and Bristol fashion out there. And welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale statue unboxing and review. Today we're going to be taking a close-up look at something a bit different. It's Strontium Dog, aka Johnny Alpha, the mutant bounty hunter from the pages of the now classic comic book that is 2000 AD. Courtesy of Fish Collectibles. The review will take the usual format. We'll have a quick look at the box, then the accessories, followed by an up-close with Johnny Alpha himself, and then finally wrapping the whole thing up with the usual showcase at the end. But before we get into the box, a bit of background. Strontium Dog first appeared in the Star-Lord comic back in the 70s, which eventually merged with 2000 AD, ironically, in the year 2000. It's fair to say this comic was my favourite comic growing up as a child. Of course, I read Marvel, I read DC, but 2000 AD was my absolute favourite as a youngster. A lot of the characters in the comic unfortunately walked in the shadow of Judge Dredd, but one of my personal favourites was Johnny Alpha. It's the tale of a future Earth devastated by nuclear war and populated by mutated Strontium-90. The mutations Johnny experiences give him superhuman telepathic powers, and seeing the discrimination mutants face, joins the Search and Destroy unit and travels the world and other time frames as well, collecting bounties and dispensing justice to wrongdoers. Imagine a spaghetti western aesthetic with a science fiction edge, and you're close to Strontium Dog. I came across this piece quite by accident. I never thought I'd see a 6-scale take on Johnny Alpha. It's a Kickstarter project with a run, I believe, of 500, made by Fish Collectibles. There'll be a link to Fish Collectibles in the description below, and I'd like to say a huge thank you to Alan over at Fish Collectibles for providing me with this this statue. But that's enough of my childhood nostalgia and my ramblings. Onto the box. Big box it is too, and a very, very imposing and impressive looking box. It's made out of a really nice high quality, high gloss card. What you've got on the front here is a picture of Johnny Alpha himself. It's the statue. Very nicely done, very nicely detailed, very well photographed. In the top left hand corner it says Strontium Dog in the Strontium Dog lettering. You've got 2000 AD in the right hand corner. Bottom left hand corner it says Rebellion, who I believe took over production of 2000 AD. Can't quite remember the year, but yeah, you've got Rebellion's logo at the bottom there, and Fish Collectibles as well. Also on the front here it says 1/6 scale statue, and you've got the names of John Wagner and Carlos Ezquerra, who I believe were the artists behind Strontium Dog, and Alan Grant, who was the writer of the stories. So yeah, very nicely done, very well presented. Let's flip it around and take a look at the side. I'm going to have to manhandle this box because it won't fit on the turntable. On the side here, there is another shot of the statue itself. You've got 1/6 scale statue at the bottom, Strontium Dog again there. On the other side, it's a shot of the statue again, but from the other side, Strontium Dog, 1/6 scale statue again. On the top, very simple, it says Strontium Dog, and there's also the number here, 267 of 500. And on the bottom, not much at all. Flip it round to the back. On the back here, we've got a back view of the statue. Same again, Strontium Dog, 2000 AD, Rebellion, Fish Collectibles, and there's also a brief rundown here of the background, of Johnny Alpha's background and history. If you wanted to read that, hit the pause button. But yeah, very nicely presented, very high quality, and just an attractive box, a very good looking box. So this is a brand new statue. It's just come in, so it's gone straight under the camera. So what we'll do next is what we'll always do. We'll break the seals, we'll get him out and have a close-up look and find out what he's all about. Okay, so here we are down on the table with all the accessories that come with the Johnny Alpha figure. Let's take a look at them. We'll start with the hands, as we always do. You know me and my hands. There are 3 swap-out hands with this statue. Let's take a look at this one to start with. We'll have a look at all 3 of them. This is the fisted hand. Now, I am not 100% certain what the material is that this is made out of. It feels cold to the touch, but it's relatively light. Maybe a hollow polystone, possibly some kind of plastic, although it doesn't feel like plastic. It feels, actually, maybe there's some give in there, maybe it is a plastic. If there's anybody out there who knows what material these hands are made out of, please put a comment in the comment section below. I'd be fascinated to find out. But let's take a look at some of the details now. Although I think it's sort of unspecified in the comic book and the graphic novels as to what material Strontium Dog's suit's made out of. I like, in my mind anyway, to think that it's a green leather, but the sculpting here comes off as almost a leather. The paint applications are really nice. There's creasing on the fingers there. There's some dry brushing in there to pick out the details. There's multiple paint applications on here to give it that material-like effect, and yeah, the crease work is really, really good. This strip on the back is comic book accurate. All of the hands are magnetically attached to the actual statue itself, so you can swap them out really, really easily. But yeah, nice sculpt, nice paint applications. Just a little bit unsure of the materials on this one. So that's the fisted hand. We'll take a look at the blaster holding hand. Now, once again, this is cold to the touch, which suggests to me possibly a hollow polystone, but it doesn't feel heavy enough to be a solid polystone. But once again, I could be wrong, could be plastic. But yeah, we'll have a look at the actual details on this, get it into shot now. I think this is an absolutely lovely rendition of Johnny Alpha's blaster. The accuracy, I believe, is 100% on point here. It's really, really nice. It's got some detailing in there. There's different paint applications. You've got a sort of a gold underneath here, which has been dry brushed to weather it. There's some more gold detailing on the top there. There's some copper sections there that have been individually painted. That gold effect runs down the handle of the gun itself. On the barrel of the weapon, you've got this red, well, more copper actually, dot there, which is once again comic book accurate. But yeah, the sculpt is absolutely on point, really, really nice, and the paint applications are very, very good indeed. The weathering on here is really, it really stands out to me. It looks really, really good, and it has that fantastic metallic look to it because of these great paint applications, and the hand is the same high quality as the fisted hand that we just looked at. Once again, magnet on the back here to attach it to the statue itself. But yeah, really, really nice. That's the blaster. And finally, you get the Electro Nux. Now, the Electro Nux was the hand-to-hand combat weapon of choice for Johnny Alpha, which was sort of this looks not dissimilar to, say, a blaster from Space 1999, but what it would do is produce this sort of this electric field around it. So when he went to punch somebody, he also applied a large amount of electricity to them as well. The electrical effect on here, once again, very, very comic book accurate. This feels to me like it's been done in a resin or a soft plastic, but it's got a translucent look to it. It's slightly opaque, which gives it that dense feel rather than just being completely see-through. But yeah, very, very nicely sculpted, very well done. The actual metallic section of the Electro Nux is really nicely painted. The same standards as the blaster itself. You've got that metallic paintwork in there. You've got dry brushing to pick out the details. You've got that sort of dull gold weathered look to the end there, which is repeated on the other side. And the hand itself is, as with the other hands, a really, really high quality of sculpt and paint application. And once again, it has a magnet on the back here to attach it to the statue. So yeah, that's the Electro Nux. Very, very nice it is done. Nicely done it is too. So yeah, we'll put that to one side. And the final piece is this rather spectacular looking base. We'll just move these to one side so we can get this in shot. Now, this has got some heft to it, this base. Now, this feels to me like it's made out of polystone. It really is very, very heavy. But the way Fish Collectibles have done this is to replicate the badge, the actual Strontium Dog badge, the Search and Destroy badge, and they've done it really, really well. We'll start on the other side of this. On the bottom here, you've got 2000 AD, Strontium Dog, the edition number here, which is 267 of 500. It says Fish Collectibles and Rebellion at the bottom. It's got 4 foam padded feet here, full rubberized feet. So if you're going to be putting this onto a glass shelf, it's not going to slide around. It's going to have some purchase to it. So yeah, The paint, what struck me straight away on this is the quality of the paint applications. It's got this super high gloss finish to it, which is really, really nice. And the quality of the paint applications here are absolutely spot on. The edges here are laser sharp, and the paint applications are really, really nice. Very, very simple, but incredibly bold and effective. Just this on its own, actually, you could just display this on its own if you wanted the Strontium Dog symbol. But yeah, and it's got the foot peg in there, which we'll come to when we bring the actual statue out itself. So yeah, really liking this base. It's got some weight to it, and it feels premium and looks premium. So that's all the accessories. So without further ado, what we will do is off camera we will put this all together, and we'll bring Johnny Alpha out so we can have a close-up look at what he's all about. Okay, so here he is, Johnny Alpha himself, aka the Strontium Dog, straight out of the box, straight onto the turntable, fully constructed, and first impressions. The first impressions are very, very good indeed. The proportions look absolutely spot on. The attention to detail looks fantastic. The head sculpt looks nailed on. I love this pose they've gone for, this action pose. It just fits the character perfectly with that ever such a slight stoop with his head forward. Yeah, the whole thing just works really, really well for me. I'm going to try to avoid being biased on this one because we are talking about something from my childhood, which is going to have an awful lot of nostalgia to it. But what we'll try and do is be as subjective as we can, and we'll do what we always do as well, which is start at the bottom and work our way up and have a look at all the details. So let's stop this guy from spinning and get him into camera and take a close-up look at him. Really, I am very, very impressed though. So yeah, now I believe from the weight of this, that this is all sculpted out of polystone. It feels like polystone to me. It's cold to the touch. The swap out hands might be different, and as I mentioned before, if I am wrong on that one, please correct me in the comment section. But yeah, starting at the bottom here, that sort of green leather effect that we talked about with the hands is continued with the boots here. You've got weathering on here. You've got some nice creasing details up to these sort of shin guards, which are this lovely gold, weathered gold colour with multiple paint applications on here to pick out the detailing. We'll bring him round. That's continued round the back in these sections here. Detailing is really nice. The paint washes on these shin guards are really, really good to give it that depth and that metallic look, and there's a real shine to them as well. It looks like there's been sort of an extra coating, maybe even a varnish on top of here to give it that shine and that metallic quality, which hasn't been done on this suit, which is great because you then get that contrast going on. The paint applications on the suit here are really, really nice. It's that slightly duller green that I mentioned. There's sort of dry brushing here towards the crotch area and down the legs. There's some shading around the top of these shin guards. It's got these sculpted in slightly greener knee pad sections here, which look really, really nice and contrast against the green of the rest of the suit. We'll bring him round. We'll start at the back actually, and looking at the detailing here, it is really, really good. On the back here, you've got this holster, which is for the main blaster here, which is obviously, it doesn't come out of the hand, so it doesn't go in, but once again, the detailing is really, really nice. The paint applications here to give it that metallic look are really well done. There's weathering on here on this silver area. The whole shoulder pad and shoulder strap section is this gold color again, the same as the shin guards. The detailing is really, really nice here. They picked out picked out the rivets in here. They picked out the metallic sections, which have been painted silver. The quality of the paint applications here are very, very good indeed. And it's continued down all the pouches on the belts on either side. You've got all these separate attachments going on. Another pouch round here, we'll bring him round again. There's another holster on the front here. Once again, sculpted in polystone. This gun obviously isn't removable, but you've got the handle of the weapon protruding from the top of this holster. Yeah, just overall, all the way up, this strapping is really, really nicely done in this gold and silver weathered paint. And once again, really, really accurate to the comic books. shoulder pads. These shoulder pads are really, really nice. The weathering on here is the first thing that caught my eye. We've got dints and scratches and dinks in there, which have been picked out by the paint applications. On this left shoulder pad, there's some scratching on there. It's weathered towards the edges. If the camera's getting, I'll try and get this closer into shot and get the light to pick that up. But all around the edges here have been weathered. There's slight scratches, and the paint applications pick those out. You've got the badge on his chest in super high gloss, the same as the base. We'll take a look at the gauntlets on these arms. And the paint applications on the back here of the actual suit itself are really nice, because you've got these contrasting green stripes which are continued down the back of the arms, which once again are comic book accurate, with the same padding on the shoulders here that you get on the knees. But the gauntlets are done in exactly the same way as the shin guards. Really, really nice paint applications on there, and that what looks like a varnish coat over the top to give it that metallic feel. But yeah, just overall really, really nicely done. It's the level of detail here which I think is fantastic. Onto this head sculpt. Now, it's a comic book character. We're looking at something that's highly stylized here, so we're not looking at trying to emulate a human face as closely as possible here. But what they have done here is really capture that Strontium Dog aesthetic absolutely brilliantly. There's some paint applications on the neck here, multiple paint applications. They've got this sort of pink hue contrasting against the flesh tone, which is really, really nice, which picks out the details. And his face was very, very distinctive, with this super square jaw, this downturned mouth, and this sort of strip of a nose that literally was uniform and falls straight down his face, which is absolutely spot on as far as my memory goes. The whited out eyes, which Johnny Alpha had. Yeah, the helmet is 100% spot on. As far as scale and shape and design goes, the paint applications once again are as good as the rest of the statue. You've got this deeper, more high gloss green on the back of the helmet. The gold areas are picked out really, really well. And once again, you've got an array of dinks and scratches. And the great thing is here, the weathering on this isn't too pronounced. It's there, because his outfit was weathered. It had been battered and seen a lot of action, but it's not overdone. So you've got to say there's a little dink in the top here. I'm not sure whether the camera's actually picking that up, but there's a little dink in the top here. There's some scratches across the front here, and it's got this wonderful detailed sort of almost an eye red section at the front of the helmet there, which once again is completely comic book accurate. Let's move him back. So yeah, there he is. Let's get him spinning again, so we can take him in all his glory. So, thoughts. Final thoughts on this one. I'm absolutely blown away, I have to say. And it's not just the statue itself. There's a couple of other things that I think are phenomenal here. Number one, the accuracy is absolutely spot on. The attention to detail is nailed on. Is it Johnny Alpha? 100%. Loving the action pose, loving the attention to detail. And loving the fact that we've actually now got a 1/6 representation of one of my childhood heroes is just great to see. For the overall quality, absolutely, I would score this. I would probably give this a 9 out of 10, an 8 or a 9 out of 10. There's a couple of little things on here that I've noticed that maybe could be improved, but it's the price point, which we'll discuss in a moment. There's a slight seam on the arm there, a slight join, but you know, I'm nitpicking here. I really, really am. And maybe a slight visible one there. There's a ever so slight visible seam line under the chin, but you've got to get down and underneath to really, really see that, and it doesn't in any way impede the aesthetic of the figure itself. So of the statue itself. So yeah. Minor niggles, but as I said before, the price point of this particular statue also impressed me. If you were to get the equivalent statue, the equivalent 1/6 scale statue from, say, a company like, I don't know who makes 1/6 scale statues, but if you were to pick up the equivalent from one of the major studios, you would be looking at twice, maybe 3 times the price. The value for money that this represents as well is absolutely phenomenal too. So if you are a fan of 2000 AD, a fan of Strontium Dog, I can't recommend this enough. I think it is absolutely fantastic, and we'll settle with 8.5. No, let's go with 9. I'm going to go with a 9. I'm going to stick with my gut instinct that says that this is a 9. So yeah, there you have it. That is Johnny Alpha, Strontium Dog, courtesy of Fish Collectibles. And as I mentioned before, there'll be a link to the website in the description below if you wanting to pick this piece up. I'm really, really happy to have it in the collection, and I'm so glad I didn't miss out. It was a happy accident finding this piece, and yeah, it's going to take pride of place in the collection. So yeah, as I say, there you have it. So before we zip over to the showcase, just a quick word about what's coming up on the channel. In the not too distant future, we've got HH model Achilles. That's Brad Pitt from Troy. We have got the Hot Toys Catwoman. These are all action figures. The Hot Toys Catwoman version 2, that's coming in. What else have we got? Pop Toys Ujio from The Last Samurai. He's on his way. A whole raft of things. We've got quarter scale, we've got 6 scale action figures, we've got statues. Talking of statues, we've got the quarter scale Paul Atreides from June. That's Prime 1 Studio on Blitzway. That's coming up soon. So yeah, a whole load of things on the horizon. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification icon so you're not missing anything. And I'd just like to once again say a huge shout out to Alan of Fish Collectibles for not only for providing me with this fantastic statue, but for actually pursuing it through the Kickstarter program and seeing it to fruition. So yeah, a massive thank you to him as well. So all it remains for me to say is thank you for watching. I hope this review's been useful. Take care of yourselves. Happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.